I still remember the taste of worms crawling in my mouth, mixed with the sour stench of rotten beans. My stepmother stood over me, smiling as if she had given me a feast, while her own daughters laughed and licked their fingers clean from the fresh meat and rice she'd served them. She pushed the bowl closer to my face, and I could see the maggots moving, fat and alive, wriggling inside the food. My stomach screamed with hunger, but my soul bled with shame. "Eat it," she said, her eyes dark and sharp like a knife, "or you will sleep hungry tonight." I wanted to fight her, but my hands were weak. Hunger had carved lines into my skin. My ribs showed like sticks pushing out of my chest. I wanted to cry, but I had no tears left. I lifted the spoon, closed my eyes, and pushed the filth into my mouth. My throat burned. I swallowed fast, praying my spirit would leave my body that moment. This was my life. In the village, people thought my stepmother was a good woman. They saw her laugh in the market, carrying baskets of yams, her wrapper neat, her head high. They called her Mother of Kindness. But they did not live inside the same mud walls as I did. They did not see her when she removed her mask and turned into something worse than a wild animal. They did not hear her curses at me. They did not know she made me drink toilet water while her children drank from the clean clay pot she hid at the back of the hut. My father was dead. He died when I was young. People said he was a fisherman who drowned one night when the river pulled him deep into her belly. I never believed that story. I felt, even as a child, that the river knew me too well to take him without reason. But the truth did not matter. What mattered was that after he was gone, I was left alone with the woman he had chosen to marry, the woman who made my life a pit of endless suffering. Her name was Grace, but there was no grace inside her. She had 2 daughters, Rose and Mary, and she treated them like they were golden. She polished their skin with palm oil, braided their hair with beads, and gave them fresh clothes. Me? I wore rags, torn wrappers that could not even cover my body. My hair was always rough. I was the shadow in the corner while they were the light. But my suffering was not the worst part. The worst part was the secret I carried, the one that could destroy me if anyone found out. I was not like the others in the village. I was not even like Grace's children. I was something else. I was born with water in my blood. Sometimes, at night, when the moonlight touched the roof of the hut, I would feel my legs burning, pulling, changing. I would feel my heart calling me to the river. I would see scales where skin should be. I would feel the weight of a tale I could never explain. I knew then, even as a little girl, that I was not only human. I was something people feared, something they told stories about around the fire, but never thought lived among them. I was a mermaid. But I kept it hidden. I stayed away from the river. I stayed away from the rain. I avoided the streams where the children of the village swam and played. I watched them laugh while I sat on dry sand, pretending I hated the water, pretending I was ordinary. My friends used to beg me. "Come swim with us, Ada," they said. "The water is cool." I always shook my head. I don't like water. They laughed, not knowing how much it hurt me to say those words. They thought I was strange, but they still played with me. They still held my hand, shared roasted corn with me, and told me secrets. For a while, it made me feel almost normal. But Grace saw through me. She had sharp eyes, sharper than any blade. She noticed things others did not. She watched me every day, waiting for me to slip. Sometimes she whispered near me when no one was around. "I know what you are," she said once, her lips close to my ear, "and I will show them." I begged her not to. I told her I would do all her chores, fetch all her firewood, pound all her yam. But she only smiled and turned away. Then one day, she did it. It was a market day. The village was crowded, and everyone was near the river because people came with canoes to sell fish. Grace called me. "Ada, follow me," she said. I was carrying her basket of cassava on my head, my body shaking from hunger. When we reached the riverbank, I felt a strange fear in my chest. Grace looked at me, her smile wide, her daughters standing behind her like shadows. "Come closer," she said. Before I could ask why, she pushed me. Her hands were strong, harder than the push of any child. I fell into the river, the basket flying from my head. The water swallowed me, and that was when it happened. The cold wrapped around me like a lover. My skin burned, then shifted. My legs twisted, then joined. Scales spread like fire across my body. My tail stretched wide beneath me. The secret I had buried all my life broke free. I came out of the water not as a girl. The day my secret was exposed, the sun burned hotter than ever before, but I felt only cold. The water dripped from my body as I crawled onto the sand, trying to hide my tail, trying to pretend it was not true. But the people had seen it. Their voices rose like thunder around me. "Don't touch her," a woman screamed. "She will curse us," a man shouted. "She is a child of the river," another added. I looked for a friendly face, someone who would tell them it was not true, that I was still Ada, still the same girl who shared firewood, still the one who laughed at their jokes and played under the mango tree. But no one stepped forward. My friends, Sarah and Gozi and Esther, stood frozen. I had known them since childhood. We used to chase goats together and steal guava from the farm. But when our eyes met, they stepped back, their faces twisted with fear. Sarah even spat on the ground and whispered, "Abomination." My heart broke that moment. Grace stood tall among them, her daughters holding her arms. Her smile was wide, as if she had waited for this day all her life. She raised her voice so everyone could hear. "I told you all something was wrong with this girl," she said. "See it with your own eyes. She is not one of us. She is a spirit. She is a curse in this house." The crowd murmured in agreement. Heads nodded, fingers pointed. Children clung to their mothers' wrappers, staring at me like I was some wild beast. I wanted to scream, to tell them I never harmed anyone, that I kept myself away from water just to protect them, that all I wanted was to live as they lived. But my words stuck in my throat. My tears fell faster, mixing with the sand below me. When my tail slowly pulled back into legs, my shame grew worse. My wrapper clung wet to my skin, my body shaking. I stood weak and trembling, but the people moved back as if my touch would burn them. That evening, the whispers spread faster than fire in dry grass. By nightfall, the whole village knew. I could feel their eyes through the walls of our hut, watching, judging, cursing. Inside, Grace did not give me food. She laughed when I asked. "Food?" she said, her voice sharp. "Will spirits eat food? Go and drink from your river." Her daughters laughed, their mouths greasy from meat stew. The smell of it filled the hut, making my stomach twist in pain. Grace pushed a broken calabash toward me, filled with water so dark it carried the stench of the pit toilet. "Drink this," she said. "It suits you." I begged her with weak hands, "Please, I am hungry." But she only turned away. That night, I lay on the cold floor of the hut, my belly empty, my body aching. I listened to the laughter of her daughters, the way they told stories before sleep. I curled myself into a ball, my tears wetting the mud floor. My heart asked God why He made me like this, why He put a river inside me when I wanted nothing more than to belong. The days that followed were worse. Whenever I stepped outside, people avoided me. They whispered when I passed. Women pulled their children close. Men spat on the ground. No one bought roasted corn from me when I tried to sell in the market. No one let me fetch water from the well. Even the children who once played 10-10 with me now threw stones at me and shouted, "Water witch! Water witch!" I stayed in the hut most days, cleaning and cooking, though Grace never let me eat from what I cooked. She gave me the spoiled parts, the bones no one wanted, the grains with worms crawling in them. Sometimes I forced myself to eat, sometimes I left it, praying for death to come quickly. At night, when everyone slept, I crept to the back of the hut and let my tears fall where no one could see. Sometimes I felt the river calling me, a voice in my chest that said, "Come back, come home." I resisted because I knew if I went, they would say I was truly gone, truly not human. But the call grew louder each day. Grace did not stop tormenting me. She found joy in it. She made me kneel on stones while her daughters danced around me. She made me scrub pots with no water, only sand, until my hands bled. She gave me rags so torn they barely covered me, while her daughters wore wrappers of bright colors. One afternoon, when I was washing clothes by the hut, she came to me and said, "You think they pity you? They don't. Everyone hates you. You should have drowned like your father. Maybe then we would be free." Her words stabbed me. I wondered if she knew something about his death. But I was too broken to ask. The loneliness ate at me more than the hunger. I missed my friends, though they no longer looked at me. I missed the way the children used to call my name when they saw me. I missed being seen as human. But most of all, I missed my father. I wished he were alive. Maybe he would have protected me. Maybe he would have told me why the river had chosen me, why I was cursed to live with legs that did not belong to me and a tail I could never show. Oh,